The movie opens on Cobb, lying on a beach hallucinating about two children, when he gets caught by armed guards and brought to the old man C.E.O. Flashback to the old days, Cobb is having a meeting with young C.E.O., explaining to him how he could help him not get a dream heisted, but in reality he's trying to manipulate C.E.O. because he wants to steal something from the dream. C.E.O. finds out and leaves, brings his guards, and Cobb and his partner have to fight their way out. Mal appears. She's with C.E.O. They have a gunfight. Cobb gets in the information. They wake up. Turns out C.E.O. wanted them there. He thinks they failed because he found out what they were doing, but it turns out they were also in his second dream. They wake up from that one, on a train. C.E.O. is impressed, but mission failed. Everyone leaves. Back home, Cobb gets a call from his children. We find out his wife is dead. Mal. C.E.O. ambushes them, and he offers them a job. Inception. Planting an idea in someone's head. A guy named Fisher, who is the heir to the largest energy company in the world. The idea is he should decide to tear down everything his father built and break up the company. Simple enough. They eventually accept in exchange for Cobb being able to go back home to his children when it ends. Cobb starts to assemble his team. First, Ariadne, who will be the architect of the dream. The newbie. He spends quite a bit of time teaching her everything there is to know about dreams, and in the meantime, she learns more and more about him. Second comes Eames, the Tom Hardy character. Enough said. Men come after Cobb. He escapes, somehow. Meanwhile, Arthur is teaching Ariadne some bullshit dream stuff, and Cobb meets Yusuf, the chemist, who shows them some weird shit. Cobb keeps hallucinating about Mal. They study the job, and Eames goes to see the owner of the company's right-hand man. There, we meet the guy, Fisher, the guy they will perform Inception on, who, as it turns out, has a complicated relationship with his father. How convenient. Everyone keeps working the case, planning, blah blah blah. We find out they're gonna go into 3 dream states. Each one moves slower than the one before in time. Ariadne finds Cobb sleeping. She joins him in the dream. There she finds him and Mal being all romantic. But shit becomes scary. Mal tries to stab Ariadne. They escape. The mission starts. They're on the plane. Cobb sedates Fisher, and we begin the mission. They manage to take Robert hostage, but are immediately ambushed by a team of rifle-wielding assailants. C.E.O. is gravely injured, and Cobb realizes too late that experts have helped Robert militarize his subconscious against unwanted attraction. To make matters worse, Yusuf's powerful sedative may leave whoever is killed in the dream in limbo, unconstructed dream space. Meaning that, unlike before, if they die in the dream, this time they die in real life. Although shaken, the team decides to continue with the plan. Cobb extracts combination lock numbers from Robert after kidnapping him, who discusses his cold relationship with his father with his uncle Peter. In the back of Yusuf's van, the team descends into the dream's second layer, a hotel lobby, where Eames poses as a female thief to distract Robert. Cobb, himself posing as a security expert, pretends to help Robert by alerting him to the robbery and leading him to a hotel room upstairs. Cobb manipulates Robert into becoming suspicious of the motives of his uncle Peter, and the 3 of them sink into a third layer of the dream, which takes place in and around a snow-blanketed fortress. The team hurries up to complete the Inception mission when they hear Yusuf, whose van has crashed off a bridge, give the kick, which means they will soon wake up, and if they don't finish up, mission's gonna be a bust. Realizing they have limited time, Ariadne tells the rest of the team the quickest way to infiltrate the fortress. Arthur scrambles in the dream's second layer to improvise an effective kick in the hotel where Cobb and the others are sleeping, which has become a zero-gravity environment given the falling van in the dream's first layer. In the third layer, Robert reaches the fortress's strong room but is shot dead by Mal, who suddenly appears. Cobb thinks the operation is over, but Ariadne convinces him to go 1 layer deeper in order to save Robert and redeem the mission. C.E.O. dies as Eames places explosive charges around the fortress to act as the third layer's kick. Cobb and Ariadne descend into a 4th layer of the dream, a crumbling cityscape that Cobb and Mal built together in the 50 years they spent in limbo. Cobb confesses to Ariadne that he incepted the idea in Mal that limbo was not real, so that she would agree to wake up and be with their children, go back to their real lives. However, Mal continued to believe that reality was a dream. Since the idea he planted was, this world is not real, every world she would be in from now on won't feel real anymore, and eventually she committed suicide, leaving Cobb ridden with guilt. In a nearby building, Ariadne and Cobb find Mal and Robert, whom Ariadne wakes up so that he can infiltrate the fortress's strong room. Cobb tells Mal that she is not real, and Robert inputs a code in the strong room that reveals a large operating room with his dying father inside. Robert's father tells him to live his own life, giving them a very emotional moment together, rendering the inception complete. As the dream world collapses, Cobb tells Ariadne to ride the kicks up through the layers of the dream while he rescues Saito. She hesitates at first, but eventually she does it anyway. Cobb washes up on a shore and is dragged by guards into Saito's house. Just like in the film's opening scene, Saito, now old, recognizes Cobb as a man from a half-remembered dream. Cobb saves him, and the two of them suddenly wake up on the passenger airliner next to Ariadne, Robert, Eames, and Saito, who have all successfully made it back to reality. Everything went well. We all good. Cobb goes through security at the airport, the most nervous he's ever been, but Saito made good on his promise, and Cobb arrives in the United States a free man, and is greeted by Stephen Miles, who takes him to his children. Cobb arrives home, and is finally allowed to see his children's faces. He rolls his totem and goes outside to play with his children, while his totem, the one that should have stopped spinning by now, continues, asking the question, did he ever really make it out of that dream? The end.